Coming up, Moana is accused of fat-shaming Polynesians. We're going to be talking about Figment and some other stuff I can't remember right now, but all that and more on this episode of Diz Pop. Diz Pop is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect vacation. Visit them on the web at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hey everybody, it's Rhino here, and I've got my special guest, Amber. You guys aren't blah, 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 blah. Starting on a good start. Good note here. I'm just not going to start over. I'm leaving it in. Today I am full of verbal diarrhea. So we're getting the episode kicked off with the word diarrhea this week. We're here with my friend Amber. Some of you may remember her from the arts and crafts video, the Zootopia arts and crafts video, which we really enjoyed doing. Oh man, that was the other thing I was going to talk about. I was trying to get everything together and I couldn't remember what the last thing I wanted to talk about in this episode was, but some of you guys out there, I haven't shown you this yet, but two different people have contacted me and they were like, we did your arts and crafts video. This one family, and on Instagram it's like Lisa Loves Walt is like her handle, but she did it for Finding Dory.
Oh,
and
cool.
They came out so good. And then somebody else sent it to me, and they did a Mickey one and a Frozen one. Oh. And if I find those images before I edit this, if I can find them really quick, I'll overlay them on here. And I will go back next week. I'll give you props again next week. But they were really cool, and I don't know, that was really fun. And the Lisa Loves Walt, she did... They also did the lightsaber arts and crafts thing I did, so it's nice to know that people are out there doing them. We've got some planned for the future. There's going to be a couple coming up, especially this month in July. And all I'm going to say is, I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Oh, God.
Okay. As I sip my tea, my high C.
You can't even see that. You have to turn it.
For the people who are listening, they don't even know, but I'm just going to quietly sip my Ecto Cooler. I'm just going to do this every week till I run out, which is never, because I've stockpiled like it's the end of the world.
He's got cases downstairs. It's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah. This is the worst kickoff to a show ever, but...
Well, do what I can.
She does what she can.
I'm here for you.
I'm bringing the ladies for this reason alone. I think that's really cool, and I look forward to it, and I started this episode in front of a Back to the Future poster just to mess with everybody, but... We are going to be doing a Back to the Future.
Yeah, because it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. You and I have been collecting the comic books, and it's awesome. Mm-hmm. And we're going to make Flux Incapacitator is going to be the name of our drink. And it's going to, since we'll make the family-friendly and we'll make the alcoholic one this time around. And we haven't quite, I don't want to reveal what the craft is yet, because I don't know. But I'm almost there.
Well, you sent me a good idea. That one was pretty cool, but it's a little involved. But it's still pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'm gonna see, because I want to keep the crafts like everybody can participate. You know what I mean? But that's how I figured we'll tie in the Back to the Future comic book. We'll talk about the movies on Netflix. Well, it'll be fun. It'll be good. Maybe we'll even, to warm ourselves up. I know you have Back to the Future Monopoly. Maybe
I
we can
do have
that
Back to
thing
the Future
where
Monopoly.
We can play it a little bit or
Yeah.
something. So, but that's that. We're look forward to that. I also want to just take a minute here to thank everybody for all the emails, Facebook messages, Instagram messages, pretty
Text
much
messages, carrier pigeons.
I got cards in the mail,
Oh.
T-shirts in the mail. Like, everybody was very nice during all the terrible tragedies that we have faced down here, and it touched my heart, and I have not... I'm going to start responding to them yet. I haven't. It's very overwhelming, and I can only do... I'm not in a normal state just yet, so I can only do like little bits as much, but they're there. I look at them. I know they're there. I'm going to respond to them. Thank you. And it means a lot. And I'm going to say that. And on that note, actually, I'm going to say a big thank you to Megan, who was if you watch the Tuesday show, she sent us some T-shirts. She runs this Etsy shop, which you can see my T-shirt over there. It's got the Magic Kingdom symbol.
For you?
Well, I've showed it on the show. You can take a look at it if you want.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, bye, Amber. Megan runs Craftiest Place on Earth on Etsy. So she made the crane in the background. I thought you'd appreciate that one.
Funny.
We'll bring it over. I'll show if they haven't seen the last one now.
go.
So there's one of Megan's shirt. It's funny. If you've been to Disney World in the last 2 years, you know there's a permanent resident set up shop there now, pretty much. But
They're all the time.
she sent us some Love Wins t-shirts that I thought were really, really nice.
That's nice.
Yeah. So she sent it to everybody who was involved in that episode. She sent one for Eli. That was very touching. Thank you again, Megan.
That's really sweet.
Check out her stuff. I think the Etsy store is actually temporarily closed while she catches up on orders, so good for you. But you check out her Instagram. That's where I follow because I love seeing all the new stuff. But there's also another group of people called called designersagainst.hate.com, and it's 6 designers came together to make 6 designs, and 100% of the profits are going to help those affected by Pulse. What I think is really cool is they're all Disney designs. They have, and on the site, you can, so if you want to go and check it out, they actually have a link directly to the GoFundMe page as well. So it's not like, it's very like front and center what they're doing. It's really nice. They reached out to me right afterwards.
Happy.
Yeah, and there's some really cool designs. There's a Tomorrowland one, which has like, it's great because they're very subtle. So the Tomorrowland one is like, Tomorrowland with the T, and it has like rainbow cars going across it. There's a Leaky Tiki Bar Adventureland one that I really like too. There's an Omnibus Main Street USA that has like a little rainbow flag hanging off the back of it. There's a Frontierland one with the Mark Twain on it. It's got a little rainbow flag as well.
Oh, wait, what is this?
Yeah, I'm not showing. You can't see it because on the computer I'm adding the images. So look as hard as you want on the piece of paper,
No, I was
Amber.
thinking for the
the
address.
Address.
Who is it?
Yeah. So there's 2 more. There's a Haunted Mansion one with the weather vane on it, and it's got like caught in the weather vane like a little rainbow thing. And then I really like the Fantasyland Dumbo one because it's like a Dumbo. It says Fantasyland, but it's in that like wave of rainbow, and it's really cool. The t-shirts are like really good quality. And if you don't want a shirt, there's plenty of other merch on there. I saw they have duvet covers. They have
fancy
things,
Knuckles?
other things. Yeah, peanuts. You can't get it on a peanut. I'm sorry, but remember, it's for a good cause. You get to show your Disney side. So be sure to go check it out. I'm gonna put the link in the description of this video. But again, it's designersunitedagainst.hate.com, and they're very cool. They've raised about $300 so far out of they've only had the shirts up for like a week, I think.
Wow.
So that's really cool. That's really awesome. And like I said, I really like the design. So check those out. I'll show you right after the show. And for you guys, you'll have seen the images already. Because like I said, editing, the magic of editing. Bum, bum, bum. I don't know what that was.
And you're going to keep that, aren't
Still
you?
happening. Well, we're going to jump into it here. We're going to get to our Disney at the box office segment. It's been a while. I did, if you guys have missed it, Craig and myself did an audio-only review of Finding Dory, and you can find that on iTunes. But we did that in that first weekend of Finding Dory, and it looks like she has actually had the highest opening for an animated feature at the domestic box office in its first weekend.
Woohoo!
Yeah, did you see it?
Yay, Dory! Yes, I did.
Did you? What were your thoughts on it?
I loved it. I was really scared. I was nervous.
Yeah, I was too.
That it was going to be just a rehashing of Finding Nemo, but it was different enough. They brought enough of the original characters back, and they had really awesome new characters. My favorite's Hank.
Hank is great.
I love Hank.
I thought they nailed all the voice characters.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think I actually liked it a little bit better than the first one.
I feel like, I can agree with
I
that.
said it in the review. I think it's a little more balanced, but if you want to check out that review, check it out. But you can see Amber.
And Baby Dory.
Baby Dory. Okay, Daddy. Craig does a really good conversation. I can't do it. Okay, Daddy. No, I'm not Daddy. I'm a friendly fish. Okay, Daddy.
Okay, Daddy.
But it did so well. And then it went on to nab the top spot the second weekend in a row, beating. There was some pretty big opening movies. Independence Day, and then there was another one I can't remember, which I haven't seen Independence Day yet. I heard it's getting terrible reviews.
I'll still go see it because I'm sorry.
Jeff Goldblum, witty one-liners,
Done.
big spectacle.
Sold.
I'm gonna see it.
I'm in.
I'm Jeff Goldblum. That was the worst impersonation.
That was really great. For a minute, I thought he was here.
Well, as of us recording this episode, you know what? I didn't even say what the date was at the beginning. It's July 1st today. So we're dated.
Yay.
I didn't say it before. But as of the recording of this, Disney reports that Finding Dory has crossed the $300 million mark at the domestic box office. It's apparently crossed the mark faster than both Toy Story 3 and Shrek 2.
Wow, that's very impressive.
It's
Toy Story 3 was...
fourth Disney release this year to top 300 million. And it's this year's sixth movie to do that. So Disney, out of the 6 movies that have crossed $300 million just domestically, 4 of those are Disney movies.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah. And honestly, I've seen all 4 of them.
Finding Dory.
Zootopia was amazing. I watched it again the other night. I just can't get enough.
I was going to ask if you wanted to watch it tonight.
I'll watch it. I got to work on my tiger boobs.
He loves this. Tiger moves. Can you make sure you said moves? It sounded like you said tiger boobs.
Tiger boobs. I got to work on my tiger boobs. It was Zootopia started us all off that way, right? And then it went from Zootopia, The Jungle Book.
Oh, The Jungle Book. Okay.
Yeah, and then...
I didn't see The Jungle Book.
Oh, The Jungle Book was actually fantastic. And I had no interest in seeing it.
I got nothing but good reviews about The Jungle Book.
That was good. Then we got Dory. And then what was the other one?
I don't know. What else
Does Star Wars count? Because it was technically in this year as well.
It could, yeah.
I'm missing one, and I feel bad. And I know I've done a review for it.
It doesn't count.
Civil War. Civil War is the other one.
Oh, okay.
It's actually literally next to my notes if I had just kept reading.
You have it written down?
Yeah, I did. Well, not that Civil War's there, but I'm going to talk about Civil War in a second. So,
did you print this on graph paper?
I did both graph paper and notebook paper. I'm running a little low here in this house.
Wow.
Recycle.
Resourceful.
R-E-C-Y-C, recycle. Don't you P-O-L-L-U-T-E, pollute.
You didn't even finish spelling recycle.
R-E-C-Y-C-L-E, recycle.
No, you just stopped at Y.
Oh, whoops.
You were like, right, recy, and I was like, where's the rest?
I didn't finish that episode of Rocco's Modern Life. Well, so I'm curious if... I don't think Dory's going to nab the top spot again because it's got some competition opening from both Purge Election Year, which is a rated R movie, so I'm not sure that it'll be up there, but people, it's Independence Day themed and whatever, so... the BFG is opening as well, Stevie Spielberg number.
Stevie Spielberg. I don't know. I'm interested in the BFG. I'll go see it.
It's not my favorite Roald Dahl book,
I'm
so
not
I'm just
sure. No, it's not my favorite. My favorite's already been done, and it was
Matilda.
done well. Obvi, thank you.
Yeah. God, I watch Matilda right now. And then Tarzan 2, which isn't getting good word of mouth, which is upsetting because I really wanted to see that too. But I'm pretty sure that Craig and I are going to do a review of The Purge as well as BFG, so you can look forward to those.
Yeah, I won't be here for that one.
Yeah, no.
No thanks.
No. Well, I haven't seen the first 2, honest to God, I'm not saying this to be emotional, but
Purge.
I don't know that I'm in an emotional state where I can watch that type of movie anymore.
I think it's too...
I watched Iron Man 3.
It's too sensitive right now. It's a little too real.
On that note, too, I watched... When was the last time you saw Iron Man 3? I know you don't like Iron Man, but...
I mean, I like
I know,
movies.
You just... Yeah, but I know he's not your favorite guy.
Obvi.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've said Obvi like 4 times.
I feel like I'm close, slowly leaning closer and closer.
I think the last time I saw Iron Man 3 was in the theaters. It was a long time ago.
Okay, well, it was on the airplane on the way home and that was the day after everything happened. And there is a scene in it where Iron Man picks up a gun and he shoots people, and I'm like, felt gross in my, and so I haven't watched another movie in that vein yet because I'm not necessarily prepared to. So. I don't know. I don't know that those movies are going to do it for me anymore. Like, The Conjuring? Sure. I love a good supernatural scary movie. Yeah. But that's it. Oh, I do have a funny Finding Dory story. I don't know if you heard this. So are you familiar with The Sausage Party, the movie?
Yes, I heard this.
Yeah.
I think this is in my hometown.
Oh, really?
I think this is in my hometown.
Well, there was a theater.
Yeah, theater in California.
Yeah.
Is it Concord? In Concord,
yeah,
California?
I think it was Concord, yeah.
I used to work at that movie theater.
Not only did they play the trailer for this movie, which is meant to, it's a play on Pixar movies. It's a play to be like...
It's like a satire.
Anthropomorphic food that is... finding love with each other, but then they get taken home and they've been chosen, and then it's death. They're being eaten. So it looks funny, but there is both a regular trailer, which is kind of like, there's a rated R trailer where they say a lot of bad words in the movie, and they played that one before Finding Dory. So the theater felt bad, but even Seth Rogen, he made a joke about it on Twitter, and then the theater company tweeted back at him and said, well, I guess to make up for it, we're going to have to play the Finding Dory trailer in front of your movie. So I was like, that's cool. That's good. Like, I think people are taking it as what it was, just as an accident. They're not like furious.
Yeah,
and
I went and read,
went
and read the comments, and everyone was like, who cares? Big deal. And I was like, oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
But it is funny.
So on that note, I didn't see it in my theater, but Moana's teaser trailer is out now, and it was played before Finding Dory, but now it's getting a little bit of controversy, which is crazy to me because, one, the photos of these main characters has been out for a while.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. So the title character of the film, Moana, she's going to be the first Disney princess of Polynesian descent. And I was like, oh, I guess Lilo. Oh, sorry.
Well, she wasn't a princess.
Yeah, she was just kind of a... Yeah. So she's got a sidekick, a demigod named Maui, and he's the one stirring up the controversy because people seem to be upset that he's being portrayed as, I quote, obese. And when I look at this character, I'm like, oh, he's a big guy. I wouldn't say he's obese because he clearly has like muscular definition.
Yeah, definitely.
In the photo.
He's shaped more like a square than a circle.
Yeah, and he's just a big guy. Like,
that's just a body type.
Well, others are defending Disney, saying that the character just depicts a certain type of body and not the stereotypical chiseled male physique. And that's immediately what I thought when I saw 100%. It. But and I said, as a once fat child, now fat adult, I have no issue with the look of this character. To say there are no fat Polynesians, that's a lie. And to say there are no chiseled Polynesians, that's also a lie. It's just, you just can't please everybody anymore. You know, it's just kind of like people are looking for something to get involved in.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
If anything, if I was a big kid and I was watching this, you know, like if I was a little kid again, I'd be like, look at that guy. Like, it's I don't know.
And it's not even that, again, it's not that he's a fat guy, but he's a bigger build. And that's a lot of people's big issues is some people aren't even fat, but they are bigger. Maybe they're taller or they have broader shoulders.
He looks tough, yeah.
And people feel badly about themselves because of this type of controversy. So
I was worried we were crooked for a second because I was looking at my
If
tripod,
we are,
but
too
sorry,
bad.
We've been chatting too long to deal with that now.
Can't go back now.
But on that note, while we're still in the Disney animated feature area, the Wreck-It Ralph sequel is announced for 2018.
I don't know enough about it.
Okay, I haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph yet.
What?
Yeah, so I went to go watch it. For those of you who don't know, at Fort Wilderness here at Disney World, they do an outdoor movie every night on the screen, and you can go roast the hot dogs, marshmallows. I went there to go watch that movie, but it was so crowded and people were so loud, I couldn't hear it. So I left. So I just haven't gotten to it yet. I'll watch it. I mean, it seems like
Steve were Vanellope von Schweetz.
I saw the photos
for Halloween.
They were good costumes,
like a couple of years ago when it came out. Get on it.
Yeah, I know.
Mr. Diz Pop.
I know. But it's coming out March 9th, 2018. I promise I'll have seen it by then. That gives me 2 years. No story details. But the announcement of that movie coming out has pushed back another one of the Disney animated movies, and that's Gigantic. And Gigantic follows Jack up the beanstalk where he meets an 11-year-old 60-foot giant girl named Inma and agrees to help her find her way home. Along the way, he meets giants from lots of different cultures, and I don't know about you, but that sounds... I'm not interested. But... like I said, the older I get, the less I'm caring about animated films.
Anytime.
So. Can hear my dog barking. I'm sorry.
He's fine.
He's downstairs. He's hungry. But I guess the people who did the music for Frozen are doing it, so I'm sure they're going to push that like nobody's business, and people are going to go ape poop crazy for it.
Yeah.
I almost said the actual word. Whoops. So we talked about Captain America for a second, but the Blu-ray release date has been announced, September 13th.
Oh god, that's so far away.
I know. It seems to be that's when the big one, like when Avengers 1 came out, it came out in September. Like, I think Iron Man, it was like September. That's their thing. If the movie comes out in May, it comes out in September.
I can't wait that long.
Well, if you can't wait till the 13th, it's going to be available on Disney Movies Anywhere, Digital HD, and Digital 3D on the 2nd.
Of September,
yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't.
So have to wait.
So 11 days early.
Great.
Blu-ray on demand on the 13th. There's over an hour of bonus materials, and I'm excited. There's deleted and extended scenes, as well as a sneak peek featurette at Doctor Strange.
See, I believe there's going to be deleted scenes in there that give us a little more backstory of some things that were not fully explained in Civil War. So I'm excited to watch those.
I never got to. I didn't see it again in the theater, so I was a little bummed out. Like,
yeah,
I guess it's still technically there. Like, I could go and try, but there's just a slew of movies coming out all of a sudden that I'm backed up on now that I need to go and see.
And see, the same issue I have with Civil War, I love Civil War. I thought it was a near perfect film. But I feel like there was just one scene that was either altered, deleted, or changed. I don't know. I'm just saying there's got to be something that was once part of the film and was either moved or altered that I think would have solidified part of the story a little bit more. But other than that, I thought it was a near perfect film. I thought the same thing for Finding Dory, because they never explain what Hank's deal is.
Yeah, they only say he's a septopus, but they never say that he doesn't have the... Oh, okay. On that note of Finding Dory, though, I did read something about this.
Why is he like that? Like, why is he so anxious, and why doesn't he like to be touched? And why does he want to go back to the ocean?
The original plot of the movie
ocean at all.
had more to do with the fact that that was a bad place. Like, that it was SeaWorld. And when the thing happened with Blackfish, they decided to steer away.
Okay.
They were like, well, we don't want to get involved in that and make it seem like we're bad-mouthing this company or anything like that. So originally it was going to be more on that manner of animals in captivity, and they had to like steer it out of there after Blackfish.
But still, it makes like
that's why Dory was delayed.
Like, I want to know, like, why is Hank so anxious all the time, and why is he so grouchy, and why doesn't he like to be touched, and why does he want to stay there and not go to the ocean? Like, I would think if you don't want to be touched, you want to go to the ocean. You know, you get touched there.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think about that till you said it, but...
I did.
We'll do a re-review of Captain America when that comes out. Maybe do the DVD, run through some of the special features, just do a quick overview, and we'll see, maybe that scene's going to be in there for you. But on that note, let's shift over into the comic book world real quick here. I've been reading, and it's been blowing people's minds. I don't know if you've heard about it. Captain America, Steve Rogers. Have you heard? You've heard the twist, right?
Yes, I've heard.
I talked about it in another episode.
The twist.
Okay. He's a Hydra agent.
Done.
Okay. I should have given you this to read before we started, because
I'll read it right now.
It's the thing right here says, "Hail Hydra, the secret history of Steve Rogers revealed."
Is this issue 2?
This is issue 2.
Okay, so I've heard that they're kind of like trying to backpedal now.
Well, I think it was always planned, because here's my issue with issue 1. My issue. Here's my issue. The first one is just fluff till the last page. It's like there's a little bit of Steve's backstory with his mother and the abusive father, and then it just kind of ends on that hook of him shoving one of the heroes out of the plane and him being like, "Hail Hydra" to Professor Selnick. And this one is mostly the Red Skulls telling the story in this one, talking to what seems like directly Steve. But this one is pretty much like how I did this. And so the Red Skull, here's how it's going down. The Red Skull once had the cosmic cube, and we know that from the film, because he has it in the film. And he was once the owner. At some point in the comic book, Steve went after it. He chopped off the Red Skull's arm somehow with his shield, but he also shattered that cube. Shield took the cube, the fragments of the cube, and they were experimenting with them, and Selnick was working on a Kobik. It's the Kobik initiative. And so somehow all these things, the pieces explode and they become a girl, like a sentient being or something. It sounds really out there. I was really lost, because this is, I guess, a continuation of like how Steve lost his powers, got old. That's how Steve became young again. Is that so? The cube girl remembers Red Skull being her like dad. And so she goes to him, and he basically twists this girl to be like, well, the world would be a better place if everyone were Hydra. And so he finds out that she has the ability to basically rewrite your life, or like give you memories that weren't there. And so she does, and she healed Steve. It's basically like she can take you and rebuild you. And so when Steve became young again and got his powers back, that's when it happened. So it's all fake. Steve...
Is it like an alternate reality?
Not for that person, but not for everybody. So Sam Wilson their lives have all been the same. So it's basically like the cube has altered his existence, and so he believes he's a Hydra agent.
I still don't like it.
Yeah, I was like, oh... It got complicated, and you kind of have to know the story.
My friend made a good point.
It ties in, and I was like, for the person who, like, if you were hoping, I saw issue 1 and I thought, I'm gonna get in, and it's a twist, and that's where it's gonna start over. This relays back to a lot of other Steve Rogers stories, so I was kind of like, now I'm lost, and I feel less interested to continue.
Yeah, my friend, you're Chris Larson.
Chris Larson,
yeah, he made a good point. That, well, clearly if this had to have been the idea the entire time, because issues don't get written overnight.
Yeah, right. They're like mapped out.
They're mapped out from, a long time ago. So maybe that I mean, he's probably right that yes, this is exactly how that was supposed to be planned out and everything, but I still think it's kind of stupid.
Well, this seems like this was planned out to be a hook that got people to buy the comic more than anything
Absolutely.
else.
And you're send to me, I don't want to buy any of those comics.
Yeah. It felt cheap to me. So I can't recommend this. However, I am going to recommend this Civil War. I talked about Civil War issue 1. Issue 2's come out. This is a 6-part. This is Civil War 2, celebrating the 10th anniversary of the other one.
Okay.
So there's a new issue that's drawing them apart, and the setup here is that Ulysses, a new Inhuman, who can predict the future to the, better than any person that's ever come before. Oh, I should say this about Captain America, too, that I didn't understand. The Red Skull has, Xavier's brain or something. So he's got Professor Xavier's abilities.
Is that like
I didn't know if he was
comic book thing? That
I didn't know if he was referencing Professor Xavier.
The comic books
Do you know who Professor Xavier is?
I know who.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? Of course I know who that is.
Well, I didn't know. I was like, this Red Skull doesn't have.
That happened in the comics.
That's what I don't know. I didn't look it up, and at that point I was like,
something else they just threw in as a twist?
Yeah, I don't know. Because it made it sound like he had taken them from Xavier, but I didn't do the Google search. Honestly, I was really excited to get to this. So I got to the first issue. I really enjoyed. I actually when I was reading this, I was like, man, this is how they should do Infinity War. Because Thanos is a character in the first issue, and he immediately comes and kills one of the main characters. So they did. And that's what kind of causes the issue between Iron Man and Captain Marvel. Because they have very close ties to that character. And Ulysses is an Inhuman that can, like I said, predict the future. Tony's argument is that they were where he said, this is the future. They stopped it from happening. So Tony says, well, then it wasn't the future. You saw a version of the future. Because if it was the future, then it would have happened. But we stopped it from happening. And Captain Marvel's argument is, we stopped it because he sent us there. And that's why we stopped it. So he's just making the case that you can't rely on this guy entirely. And I love that. It's the Minority Report. Right. It's exactly what it is. Tom Cruise, that's a great film. And, based on that Philip K. Dick
There's different perceptions.
Right. And so this is kind of further of that character dies at the very end. This is Tony going after Ulysses. He takes him from the Inhumans and brings him to his, Stark Tower, somewhere. That's irrelevant. But so he basically has violated some sort of treaty because he's gone to the Inhumans world and he's taken their person.
Of course, because Iron Man does whatever he wants.
And he tortured him a little bit.
That sounds about right.
Smidge. In fairness, do you want me to tell you the character that died?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, if you haven't read it and you don't want to know, beep beep, cover your head, cover your ears. Colonel James Rhodey. And the She-Hulk may be on her deathbed as well. So, okay, I'm done. You can come back now. Good. I should have made a signal, like a hold. Yeah, so I was like, oh, wow. Because Captain Marvel is romantically involved with Rhodey, and Iron Man is best friend, so...
Hope you're still covering your ears.
Yeah. But anyway, that's how, so that's kind of... This one was a little bit more of a filler issue, but it ends on Ulysses having a... So Tony's trying to map his brain and figure out the powers and how they work and what makes them go, and, maybe he can figure that out, because that's how he works. That's how Iron Man works. But
because it's okay when Iron Man does something like that for his own benefit, right? I'm sorry. I'm very anti-Iron Man.
I like Tony Stark. I'm sorry. But he's doing this. They show up to rescue him. They argue. While they're arguing, Ulysses breaks down, starts having another vision, and it's of a certain Avenger. I won't say who, to give people time to read, because this just came out. Killing all of them. So now the last issue is Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, showing up with that person and being like, hello. And you're like, oh, she about to kill that person? And so it's gotten to that, it's heating up a little bit. I'm really enjoying this. Now, there are, offshoots of it, too. There's, the Amazing Spider-Man #1, Civil War 2. There's X-Men #1. Spider-Man. Walter James Spider-Man.
John Spider-Man.
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 I got X-Men and I got Spider-Man because I'm curious how they do these offshoots. I'm going to talk about those next time though, because I really haven't had a chance to read them yet. But also I don't want to overload people on one specific thing. So, but there's a bunch out there. I'm just going to do those couple, but you don't have to have read them. But I think they're going to tie in nicely. So we'll see about that. But that's Civil War II. Get on out there. Start reading it. There's a lot of fun covers out there for it.
I'm just gonna borrow yours.
Yeah. And that is... Oh, and if you're following along with the Haunted Mansion comic book, there's one more issue. The 4th issue just came out. There's 5 issues. It even said in the back of the 4th issue.
So these are 5 new issues. Because I have the comic books from like years ago.
Yes.
That I just got back from Chris Larson.
This is part of a series called Disney Kingdoms. Yeah.
Oh,
and so
okay.
It's part of that.
They made like a hardbound book, right? Like they came out with like the Figment ones and the Big Thunder
Figment
Mountain.
ones did, yeah. And the Big Thunder Mountain, they were the first ones, and then it's Haunted Mansion, and then
Are the Haunted Mansion ones good?
I've read the first 2-3 issues. If you like the Haunted Mansion a lot, they're fun. Like there's a lot of tied in stuff to the actual Haunted Mansion. I think you'd like it. Yeah,
I probably will.
There's also, my goodness, Figment 2 is which I'm going to talk about. Yeah, we should go to the comic book store.
You made me want to go to the comic book store right now.
Well, there's a new that you brought me right into.
I still need to get my Back to the Future ones. I'm behind.
There's an Enchanted Tiki Room series coming out next.
saw.
Yeah, that's going to be a 5-part comic. I'm not as excited for this one because I'll tell you why. The art looks cool because they said they went back to like the Disney archives and it's all based on that original art in there. But the new adventure will include the immersive storytelling inspired by Walt Disney Imagineering magic and the fantastic artwork found in those previous Disney Kingdom series. So it'll visually fit in with all the other series that have come. But the creators have said that they hope these stories in the Disney Kingdom comics add to the lure of the attractions and inspire readers to revisit with new perspectives. And honestly, they do, because when I was reading the Haunted Mansion one, I just went to Disneyland because it's about that Haunted Mansion. But really, it could be either. You know what I mean? Well, not really, because that one's in Louisiana, and so that comic takes place in Louisiana. Yeah. So, but either way, it was kind of like, oh, there's the piece, and they're talking about that thing, and this is like that. So it's interesting how they're doing that. But with the Tiki Room, they're saying in each issue, new visitors will arrive by boat to an isolated island populated by singing birds, plants, and ancient tiki gods. So that 5-part comic book, each episode is going to be its own. Each issue is going to be its own. It's like self-contained. Okay. So I like
sure they'll weave together.
Well, it said there's an no overarching story, but there will be a nice connection for people that read all 5.
Okay.
I'm sure it'll be, Tiki Room, Tiki lore, people love that stuff. So, yeah, but when the last issue of Haunted Mansion does come out, I'm going to do so if you get them all and read, come back and be on that episode, because I'm going to do a wrap-up of the whole story.
Okay.
The whole thing. And I have, actually, if you'd also like to partake in, all the Haunted Mansion boxes, the mystery boxes they sent. I went over the first 2. I've got the 3rd one. I'm going to film them as each individual episode so people can follow along with us as we solve them completely and entirely and move on from box to box to box. And it involves us having to go to the actual Haunted Mansion to do it, too. So I think it would be a fun thing to do, and I document it for you guys a little further, because I did that a couple episodes ago, but I kind of like rushed through it. So I want to do it as like a separate video. So that won't be a Diz Pop episode, but that'll be an actual like Diz Unplugged on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Diz Unplugged, for you to watch. Now, the one comic book I did start reading because I thought it was newer. I don't know if it's not. It's done. It turns out they were on display because the artist was actually coming to the comic book
those
store.
Are like a couple years old.
Not a couple years old. They're like a year old.
This is the new.
This is Figment 2.
Figment 2. Okay.
Figment 2. I have the first 3 issues here. And I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot because I'm reading the other Disney Kingdoms ones. I don't really know. Kathy Worling loves Figment. Kathy Worling is on our podcast.
Okay.
And I thought, you know what? I'm going to read these. And worst case scenario, I've got something to talk about Kathy, like Figment, and I'll know a little bit more about it. Now, the first Figment comic book had like to do with like the history of like the attraction. Like it was his story, because Dreamfinder like disappeared in 1910 or something like that, or whatever. I don't know if that's how the story goes completely, but that's what they make it out to be like in here. This issue picks up where that last story left off, I guess. So Dreamfinder and Figment are now 100 years in the future, which is our current day, and they show up in, guess what? Florida. Not at Epcot, because that's not a thing. But at the Institute, and the building looks exactly like the building in Epcot. And what's Spaceship Earth called?
Spaceship Earth?
No. What's the sphere? Is it like Geosphere or something?
Oh gosh, I'm embarrassed.
I wrote Geosphere, but
oh crap.
Yeah, what?
I don't know.
What? I'm sorry, and I'm sure there's gonna be a million comments.
I know, they're gonna be like, it's called this. So sorry.
I put my laptop away so I wouldn't be distracted. But anyway, that's there. Nobody knows what it is. It's like a power. It keeps phasing in and out. It's like a power source. They're trying to figure out how to tap into it. Basically, this jerk guy runs the institute now, and nobody believes that Dreamfinder is who he is. And and then he's got an old friend there that who I guess was in the other comic book, and knows who he is. And and so the guy who runs the institute. He's just he's a jerk. So he I was gonna say. And then I said it, so it doesn't matter. But, so he, basically, the idea is he's making Dreamfinder doubt himself. Because now Dreamfinder comes from a world of, like, steam-powered stuff and, like, all that kind of things. And we're in, it's 2016, or 2015 in this, because this is a year old. But, and so he's causing self-doubt, and then Dreamfinder goes to use his, like, imagination machine, and unfortunately all that doubt manifests itself, so doubt itself comes out and possesses Dreamfinder, and he becomes Doubtfinder. Not Mrs. Doubtfinder, but Doubtfinder. Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's kind of silly.
Yeah, it's this is clearly, these are very much, for everybody. They're for all age. This feels very aimed at younger audience. There is a little girl in it who lives in Cocoa Beach. She's like a side character, and in the 3rd issue we do find out she's actually Dreamfinder's great like niece or something. And so when Figment runs away after Dreamfinder becomes Doubtfinder, he sees the spark of imagination in the house, and he goes to find this girl, and he needs her help because she has the power, the gift of imagination. And so they like sneak back into the institute to try and help Doubtfinder, excuse me. And she creates a new Figment character called Spark.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's like a cat dragon thing.
A cat dragon? Can I see?
Yeah, it's in that one.
Sounds like the best thing ever.
He's right there.
That's him.
Yeah.
Look at that cat dragon. Oh my God, I love him. Look, he kind of looks like Charmander.
Yeah, I was definitely getting a Charmander vibe there.
Yeah, he looks like Charmander.
But I'm not swayed on Figment reading these comic books. I actually will not finish reading these. They're not for me. But I think these are actually really good for like for kids for sure. Like even actually like if you're an adult. I'm sorry, I've said like so many times, and I know it drives people crazy.
Tell me about it.
If you are somebody who loves this. Like, I imagine if Kathy's daughter was younger, not that Katie, she can't read these to Katie, but
here we go.
You could read these with your children. Like, this would be a fun family activity to read together.
Yeah, that's fun.
So I recommend it for that.
Those are good bedtime stories.
The reason why these were out, though, is the artist went to the local comic book shop right here, to Coliseum of Comics, and I forgot to go back and get them signed. I was going to get them signed and give them to Kathy, and I forgot. So, sorry, Kathy, if you watch this. I don't think you are. But that's that's that. You can check those out. I just thought it would be nice to kind of run through all the Disney comics that are out there. So we're going to go over the Darkwing Duck comic, too, that's out there. It's not part of Disney Kingdoms, but it's just its own little thing. And there's 2 issues out, so we'll go over that soon, too. I do want to do other... I was actually thinking, Darkwing Duck, I got the Goof Troop video game for Super Nintendo.
What?
Yes. And Craig got DuckTales, and... So I was thinking we should do a whole Disney Afternoon episode. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah,
I don't have the angle quite yet, but
can I bring my pictures from Disneyland?
Oh, I have gargoyles too as well. Yeah, we should totally have.
They used to have Disney Afternoon meet and greets at Disneyland, so they had like Sunny Gummy and Rebecca. What's her name? Cunningham, Kit.
Richard Cunningham.
No, not Richard. Kit's mom.
That's from
Kit Cloud Kicker's mom or guardian.
I'm Richard Cunningham, and this is my wife Oprah. It's from Austin Powers. But it's also Richard Cunningham. I think it's from like Happy Days or something.
But it's Rebecca.
Yeah, so, well, what we'll do is maybe we'll do like a history lesson and run down and do all that. I feel like most of these episodes are just me saying what other episodes are going to be, and then they never get here. Well, good. I'm glad you're excited about it. We can all get excited about it. Before we close out this episode of the show, I've been promising this for a while. Fan art. I was saying I show all this stuff. We haven't gone over fan art yet. Amber and myself, we enjoy... if we want something, like, we're like, oh man, I really want a picture to hang here, and it would be cool if it was like Max in front of the stand with the stand out behind him. Then I'm like, I'll paint it. If she wants like the up house with the balloons, she paints it. Like, we don't wait to have somebody else do it. We do it ourselves. What?
I wanted a painting of the various Disney couples.
You should have seen the gift I gave to Steve Porter when he left. Steve.
So I made it. It's like I made it on a canvas like this big, and I did like Brady Bunch squares, and then I had a different couple in each one that was kissing.
I know that. I must have seen that. I thought that was on a T-shirt.
No.
Oh yeah. See right there, stuff like that. But
I'll send you a picture if you want to throw that in there too.
Yeah, if you have it with you, I'll throw it over where you just said that. So,
okay.
Well, we'll show some of our stuff someday. Amber and I are gonna do. There's a Pixar arts and crafts, kind of like it'll be like the movie reviews, but I want to work backwards because I haven't seen The Good Dinosaur, and so I was thinking we could do something with that. And you'll see. I think we're gonna go do it at Amber's house. So we'll give you some shots of your fun stuff in your kitchen, and we can tie that in about how you do that kind of stuff, how you can decorate it and bring it into your life. So I've had 2 people. I've had more than 2 people, but I have 2 people's physical fan art in my hand right now. So I want to go over these 2 people first. There's another a younger gentleman, Jake, on Instagram, who I'm going to get to your stuff next week, and I have some other people. But I'm going to do a little bit, just like 1 or 2 a week.
I like that.
So I'm going to start I'm going to start at the bottom here with, now I apologize, on the envelope it said Kavin, Kavin, unless the E was just weird, but it very much looked like an A, has sent me this, and I'm going to read because he wrote me a letter about him and his Disney background. He's a fan of the show. He heard we were looking for the fan art, and he said these were just hanging around at his house, and he said, just send them out. If we want them or a listener wants them or anything like that, he felt like they were better out in the world than that. And I thought that was really cool.
Nice.
It was super nice. Oh, he actually left me... Oh, awesome. I was going to say, I wasn't sure. He's got an Instagram, so check out his Instagram, which is KAVINNERDHAUS. So it's Kavin Nerdhouse. Nerdhouse. Hoos?
No, Summer.
Hoos? But his Disney story is, he says, I was lucky enough to have my parents take us to Disney World growing up. So I've always loved it. Mainly loved the parks, I guess. Classic type Disney stuff is his favorite. Although some of the newer things are fun. I agree. He's been lucky enough to do some random Disney things. Like he's been to River Country back in the day, which is somewhere I've never been.
I've never been there.
No, I think that's probably why we're actually still alive today. So lucky he made it out. But amoebas, the brain. He got to ride rocket rods before they shut that garbage down. So
that thing was only open for like a
down.
blip in time. That's impressive.
Where was Rocket Rods?
That was in Tomorrowland at Disneyland.
Is it the thing on the roof?
It wasn't on the roof, but they made like these they're like clear tubes that like went around Tomorrowland, and they went super fast.
Like People Mover?
Was it? Steve would know. I'm not positive.
I wonder if I could Google if there's a video out there.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
But it didn't last long.
I've heard people mention them before. I thought the Astro Orbiter in Disneyland was called Rocket Rods.
No. Rocket Rods was like something. I think it was something like 6 seconds long. It wasn't a long ride at all.
Oh.
It was just a matter of it just went really fast through these tubes through Tomorrowland. Like that was the cool thing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So that's cool that he got to do that because I lived in California then and I didn't get to do it because it closed so quick.
Since they speaking of the People Mover though, they took their son to Disney World and now he's really bummed out that there's no People Mover at Disneyland. You and me both, because it's there in visual sight and you're just
you can see the tracks.
And it's one of my favorite things, and it's a shame. It really is a shame because out there it's just so beautiful. It's never gonna happen though. He said another interesting thing, but maybe only interesting to him, but I disagree. I thought this was interesting, is that his house doubled for Walt's house, or technically he said it was his uncle's house in a commercial. He said if you remember a year or two ago, there was a Cadillac, he thinks it was a Cadillac, it was a car commercial about how a lot of famous businesses were started in a garage, and I kind of vaguely remember this commercial actually, because I'm pretty sure it involved like Apple, because Steve Jobs started in the garage, but he said his house was Walt's garage.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he said, funnily enough, if you look up the hill from the front of the house, you can see part of the roof of Walt's Los Feliz home.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
What is that? It's city.
Oh, in California?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was the home in.
So was he from California?
He must be. Yeah.
That's cool.
He said, I guess that wouldn't be funny, but I think it's kind of neat. Well, we think it's neat,
I think
Kevin.
it's neat. That's a cool bragging right.
Yeah, so he does these artwork. They're interesting. Okay, I'm saying it like that. This guy is very talented. Like, it looks like screen drawn. So I'm gonna show you. One of my favorite ones was this guy, Mickey with a skateboard. He's got a little bit.
A little morbid.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's something about this I like.
They're fun.
I don't want to show my dogs this one though. But then he does these like character mashups. So he said his favorite was, and I'm going to show it. He did Annie Potts as Daisy Duck because he always had a crush on her growing up. I thought that was fun. But you know, he did this dog's name I can't remember right now, and people are going to okay. I was like, people are going to kill me, but you know, it does like the monsters are all mashed up here and everything. But
give me these. Here, can I show them what they actually look like? This is one of them. He's really
sorry, it's getting dark too.
At holding.
I'm trying to finish.
This up.
But it, you know. There's a lot of them. He sent me a lot of them. If you're listening, they're character mashups. I already said that. I'm sorry, but they are like.
Is this Mick Jagger?
Mick Jagger. I think it's Mick Jagger.
As the hat box goes.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's Paul McCartney, but I don't know who that is.
I'm not sure who the lady is, but that's Paul McCartney as Horace Horsecollar and Clarabelle.
Yeah.
Are fun.
So yeah, these are a lot of fun. They're
and like, beautiful. Like they're really
thank you for sending
pretty.
these. Like they are on hard plastic. Like this is like, maybe we'll do these and give Kids the World auction or something like that. I mean, I'm probably gonna keep that Mickey skateboarding one for myself though. Yeah, the color is crazy.
Right, like it looks like a still, like that was just taken straight from The Simpsons.
But
like,
I can feel the color on the paper.
Yeah,
like,
I want to know what kind of paint he uses.
Right, because it's dried.
Is it
like
acrylic?
This?
No, it looks like it came from a marker, or maybe it started with a marker.
Oh, maybe he's got the.
Maybe he's got the.
Yeah.
Because it feels like there's definitely texture on top of it, but I love the color.
Yeah. He's
so nice.
Yeah.
Bender.
So I appreciate it. Thank you for sending this to us, and thank you for sharing this with us. Like I said, if you want to check out his Instagram, I'll put it in the description of the video. For everybody to check that out. Thank you, Kevin, for sending those. And then I have another one that sent us this Ryan Kano. Yeah, Kano. Okay, I was going to say, sorry if that's not how it's pronounced, but you literally wrote it phonetically for me. So he sent us a letter, and he said, love the show. Thank you. I'll take a moment.
I actually think it's Kano.
Oh, is it Kano?
I mean, that's what it looks
like. K-A-H-N-O? Well, fun fact, when people spell things phonetically, I still don't know how to read the phonetic parts of it.
Well, that's been made clear.
So, sorry, Ryan. I know how to say Ryan.
I'm sorry if I said it wrong.
He said, recently I combined my greatest loves, Disney architecture and graphic design, and created 25 illustrations, I can speak, relating to Disney Parks architecture that were released on a daily basis on his Instagram, which is at CANO_RYAN. And again, I'll put that in the description of the video, but he said, yes, I shamelessly plugged that. Well, don't worry, I was going to plug it if you didn't. So, after watching our videos on best attractions at Walt Disney World and the show relating to Haunted Mansion, I decided to send over 5 prints for your enjoyment, including his personal favorites, Space Mountain and Monorail. He says, feel free to showcase these, which I am going to do right now, my friend. But yeah, he did these 5 prints. I'm going to show you these. They're very cool.
Oh, cool. So they really are like logos.
Like Space Mountain.
That's cool.
And then the Monorail.
How fun are those?
And then the People Mover. I swear to God, I saw this one on a t-shirt the other day.
So, it does look vaguely familiar.
The Haunted Mansion one's pretty cool.
I like this one.
And then Dinosaur.
The Dino Institute.
Which is my favorite attraction at Walt Disney World.
I love that. Those are so fun.
Yeah, so I these are great. I'm kind of taken back that you guys actually sent some stuff over here too. Thank you so much. I wasn't, looking to do that, but I appreciate it. Anytime you share art, I know it's you kind of expose yourself there. It's an open nerve. We are familiar.
Yeah.
So it means a lot sharing this with the world. If you guys want to share more of this with us, tag me on whatever social media. You can follow us on Twitter at DizPopShow, or I don't know. Send an email to the podcast at dizunplugged.com. I don't know. Well, let's see what you guys can do. Fan art. I want to see fan art, and I don't want to just see like fan art. Show me your Disney bounding. Show me the fan. We're gonna get to Disney bounding. I know I keep saying that, but I just have to find enough like the right people and the right thing. And I actually met while I was in my last Disneyland trip the person who created the word Disney bounding. I forgot her name already.
Perfect.
I feel really bad.
Way to talk about it.
At Club 33 of all places. But there's a listener out there, Steve, who's a super nice guy, and he like knew or like was a friend of her, and so like the next time I go out there, maybe I'll be able to say hey or something like that. But yeah, so that's, show us fan art, show us whatever, keep the crafts a coming, because I want to see more of those. I'm telling you right now, they outdid us. Like the Frozen one, I hate Frozen, but it's very like intricate and very like see. And they did multiple colors and everything. It's very nice.
And I'm glad they did that too, because if you have an X-Acto blade and if you have the patience, you can make really intricate stencils and make really cool things. Yeah. So I'm glad that it is intricate.
Yeah, so we'll look forward to some more of those. Like I said, follow us on Twitter at DizPop Show. And I'm always on there, interacting on there. We have an Instagram now too, also DizPop Show. And I will be making that Facebook page. Everything, it's just been a lot.
I should be writing down everything that you're promising.
I know, promises. I'm making a lot of promises.
You're like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that.
So somebody out there is cutting together a video, though, and they're going to play the video and be like, look at all the promises Rhino offered us. But I think that'll do it for us today. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you, Amber, for coming to Chit Chat.
You're welcome.
I don't know what next week's going to bring, but something fun, I'm sure. We'll have some movie reviews coming out within the next week or two. I know I didn't talk about Adventures in Babysitting like I said I was going to, the Disney Channel original movie that they're calling it. I also haven't seen the original, so that's why I couldn't. I refused to watch the new one before I watched the original. I have them both.
I'm so mad at you. Let's talk about the promises Rhino makes to me every day.
Maybe we'll watch that tonight.
Yeah, why the original? I'm not watching this.
The original one, yeah. I can't watch two of them in one day, especially a Disney Channel original movie.
The
original it takes a lot of those.
It's so classic. It's one of my favorite movies. It's so great. Elizabeth Shue.
I do love Elizabeth Shue,
Jennifer
so
McFly.
that's why I'm really.
Well, it's not Jennifer McFly. It's Jennifer. What's her last name?
Oh God. I
know that. She does have a last name, and I do know it, but I can't think of it. It's something very simple.
Did they ever say it out loud in the movie?
No.
Okay.
No, they do.
My book's right there.
They do say it because it's when they find her in Back to the Future 2. When they scan her and they say Jennifer.
Yeah, they say McFly.
Oh, the middle name is Jane. That's what it is.
Is it a hyphen? I was going to say. And my book's over there. I mean, you won't be able to find it before we're done talking, but next week, tune in for the exciting what is Jennifer's last name?
Elizabeth Shue is Jennifer in Back to the Future, which is why I love her in Adventures in Babysitting.
That's why I recognized her in the preview. I was like, who's this girl? Why do I know who this is?
And
it was one of those like...
What's the guy who plays...
Anthony Rapp.
Yeah, Anthony Rapp's in it, and he's fantastic.
Yeah, and I love him, so I want to...
so funny.
Well, I'll watch that. We'll get to that. And so like I said, movie reviews, arts and crafts coming up, all that fun jazz. You want to see some stuff, just put it out there. I don't know what to do. Show me some stuff. Like I said, we're going to do that Disney Channel afternoon. We're just doing stuff that we like. I'm trying to follow the current trend of what everybody's doing out there, but like some days it's just, I want it to feel like you're just hanging out with us. Like you're coming over and you're going to play video games with us and we're going to just chit chat. So.
He's not wrong. That's what he did to me. I didn't know I was going to do this to
him.
Oh
no, she got surprised.
Yeah, I just walked in and he was like, all right, here's a camera in your face. All right, great, here we are.
Oliver bailed because of the weather. So
Oliver.
No, it's okay. We'll see Oliver again. But that's the show. It's always shifting, except for me. I will never go anywhere. I will take this show to the grave with me.
Well,
no, I'm just kidding.
Really intense.
I'm just kidding. But anyway, till next week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And yeah, bye.
Bye.